Well, should I say anything other than for me, other than my name? People don't care what business I'm in. This person right here is where they care.
We are Tom and Katherine Strother, and we joined St. Margaret's 18 years ago. We were married at the church in May of 2002, shortly after we had joined. I began working at the church in January of 2010. So I've been there for over a decade now.
We're plugging along. I'm able, without raining, I'm able to have consistent days at work, which is nice. The rain's always nice, but it's always nice not to have rain considering your construction business. And our life really hasn't changed as far as our habits when COVID-19 came, because we were isolating anyway. My thought and my connection and my love for St. Margaret's is going to go back a year when Katherine was diagnosed with cancer.
Our story actually started at the end of June of 2019. I was diagnosed with cancer, and I underwent surgery and then chemotherapy and radiation therapy. It was interesting. Last day of work was June 28th of 2019, and my first day back to work was July 1st of 2020. So it was exactly a year. So that was interesting. It's almost kind of like a lost year for us on that. Our daughter Haley came home to help take care of me. She graduated in May of 2019, so just before this all happened. So because of what we were going through in our house, we were quarantined, as it were, from St. Margaret's a lot earlier on, because we had to watch out. My immune system had been significantly compromised, and we had to be careful about bringing anything into the house. So Tom and Haley couldn't even go to church. We have just received phenomenal support from the church. We had just so many meals and phone calls and cards, and just dozens of cards, flower arrangements, rides to my treatments. The support from this community has just been beautiful.
My journey over the last year and a half and my thought towards our church family has gotten so much deeper because of the outpouring of love and support when we got Katherine home from the hospital after her surgery in 2019. I'll never, ever forget that. That and the love that we all have for, what is now our 1-year-old Parish Hall. And as somebody who had a part in the construction of it, I just think that's so neat for the life of our church. And we both love it and need it and think about it. And I can't wait till we can get back to in-person togetherness, learning, and living.
It was fun getting to move into the new building. We did that before I got sick. So it was fun to enjoy the space for a couple of months. In July, I was officially in remission. So that was great to have that news. Went for a PET scan just last week, and we'll be going back in December for another scan. They're going to watch me very closely for the first year or two, I think, and then they'll stretch it out a little further apart. From what I understand, you have to do that for 5 years before they say you're cured, but we're certainly looking forward to it being 5 years.
Prayer, in my mind, is powerful, and I did not realize it until Katherine was going through this, how valuable and needed and wanted prayers received, and I felt like a lot of my prayers were answered and still are and still need to be. But I enjoyed seeing fellow parishioners. I mean, we didn't see anybody, we didn't go anywhere for a long time, and so it was nice, and just the feel of support that people expressed. uh, because that's one of the most important aspects of St. Margaret's is the people inside the building. You can have the mortar and bricks and concrete, but you need that, but it's not the people, in my mind, make up the church. And I don't know, I guess I just matured, I guess, in my faith. I'll continue maturing all my life, I think.
Well, we should. Well, I have an extraordinary doctor here in Little Rock, Dr. Brad Baltz, and he suggested that we go to MD Anderson. They are the #1 place in the nation, at a minimum, if not in the world, for treatment. And so it's very comforting to know that I have that. And Houston isn't that far away for us.
Silence is golden. Yeah, well, I mean, we listen to some music, but
yeah.
It's a lot of times we just listen to the road.
I really hated that Haley put her life on hold because she was planning to go move to another city and go to graduate school. And instead she came home for a year. But so that was a double-edged sword. I was sorry that she couldn't go do that, but then we've gotten to have her here at home. So that time together has been great.
Well, your mortality comes to life.
Yeah.
Is we're mortal. Sometimes we don't, sometimes we think we're immortal.
Yeah.
But it's like, here's a case, it hit inside the walls of our house that it took 2020 modern medicine.
That is another thing is the phenomenal support of my family has just been beautiful. There's just, again, there's no way I could have made it through it on my own. Really, very blessed.
It took both of us to remember what for medication.
Yeah.
We had set alarms.
A lot of alarms. Actually, going back to work has been a tremendous help. Not being able to do anything for virtually a year. You're so tired. It's really hard to get yourself up off the couch to do something when you're so tired. You just, feel sunk down into the couch. Having to get up and go to work, well, I love my job and I'm happy to go to work, but having to get up and go has been great because it's set a time for me, schedule, and that's really helped build my stamina. But right as the pandemic was hitting and we were just starting to get the picture of how that was impacting everybody, it was really great. His office told him before they told the rest of the employees, you work from home. When we have a job for you, we will call you there and you go out. You don't need to be sitting in this office waiting for the schedule.
I don't think that will always be that way, but for now it is. Don't get fired. Well, I'll try my best.
Actually, I guess not.
Not really. Wearing masks.
Yeah, just doing that. And I absolutely wouldn't go anywhere after the pandemic started. I was already isolating myself significantly, but now I'll go to the doctor's office and I go to work at the church, and we all know that that's this nice big open space where and nobody has to get close to me at all. If it were different, I would not be working either. I hadn't been able to participate in service really in any way since July. Some people had brought Eucharist to me, which was wonderful. That was one of the other special ways that people took care of us. But so pandemic hit just as I was getting closer to being able to come back. And because of having to find ways to continue to connect with our community, the efforts that were put into creating ways to worship together online really helped me connect in ways that I think were maybe a little bit different for other people. I was getting to go back earlier than I would have been able to. the sermons online. There was that series of Faith at Home that Cindy and Stephanie and Mary did. I think there were 9 different classes. Those were great. I especially connected with the one on rosaries, the Zoom classes and book studies and that kind of thing. Those are things that are connecting me more closely to the community with regard to actual worship. So that's been a blessing for me with COVID. Once I was able to put a little more energy into it, I'm doing more reading, more studying. And, there was a pretty good period of time there where there really wasn't much that I could focus on. But once things started to improve, it was nice to be able to, just do a little more personal study than I had previously prior to my illness. I really look forward to it being when it can be stewardship in the hands-on type of stewardship, getting back involved in that way. My job enables me to provide stewardship, I think, in some ways, because I am the face of the church. Initially, some people are coming in or when they call, and being able to have that connection is really special, and it feeds me, and I hope that it, means something to those I'm interacting with. It feels really good to support people. And with St. Margaret's, I guess it's family. And so you want to support your family in any way that you can. And going back to the financial part of it, one of the ways that we have to do that is to give financially to help be able to continue the bricks and mortar part of it, or not even just that, but to keep the organization itself functional. That requires money, but there's just so much more to it, and just want to give back where so much has been given to us.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, we have new members, even with
Really?
the pandemic. Yeah,
I haven't heard that.
So that's really cool. Yeah, I love that. It's been an extraordinary effort, and Mary in particular has just, she's so creative and finds ways that she comes up with the ideas, and then also comes up with a way of making it happen. And she, can do a little more of that all the way through than I think most people can. It's being able to expand the educational opportunities. The new building is the educational wing, the Peggy Bosmeyer educational wing of the church, and was actually specifically pushed forward because we were out of classroom space. And so those are just wonderful things. It's a wonderful problem, isn't it? And so being able to continue to work into that. I love that in the year prior to all of this, St. Margaret's, with that new space, was really starting to be able to open itself up to the community. So just being able to see those programs not only come back, but to continue to expand, and to grow our membership and our connection to the community. I think it is a real testament that we do have new members that connected with us after the pandemic started.
This first that I've heard that we have new members. So that makes it ever so important that we make sure we have a lot of name tags. Because there are some people that I have not met that were going to St. Margaret's before we had to isolate last year. And so it's just the workings of the church makes my desire to be back in person even more. I gain strength from other people. It affects your, lack of a better term, your state of mind when you're not able to see people. Zoom is great. What we're doing is great, but in my mind, it's not the same as being across the table from them.
Those bonds are what's so important. And the common being, Christ and our belief in Christ, but there's just so much more that brings us to St. Margaret's in particular.
Thank you for your love, support, effort for our family. It's something that I personally will never forget. Knowing that everybody in those walls are a phone call away is the best way I can explain it. I'm just I'm just so thankful.
Thank you for the love that you and support that you have shown our family in this past year and a half. And I look forward to an opportunity to share that love back with you, to give back in return.